here in Padstow and your faithful ministry to our congregation and our local community. Thank you.
John, Libby, we'd like to invite you to speak.
Try and hold us back.
Well, thank you all very much for coming. If I was to put into one word about tonight, I'd say overwhelming. I've been overwhelmed a lot in the last 2.5 years, and I just wonder who people have been speaking about here tonight. And when we were singing that last song, it summarised it for me, because it's not about us. I'm reminded of what it says in the Bible, you must increase and we must decrease. And I think that summarises for us what we have wanted out of tonight, was to give God the honour and the praise and the glory. I haven't got any notes this time. I had notes for the interview. But I just want to thank everybody who has spoken. Boy, we'll treasure those words, and Tony's kindly videoing it for us, and I think it's being taped, and at some stage we'll listen to it, we'll actually understand and appreciate what people have said. There were many apologies for tonight. Even at 5 to 7, a minister rang to say that he wasn't able to be here. So we are so thankful to everybody for coming, for taking the time and trouble. But I want to thank the St John's family. It's not going to be easy to leave. I remember when we went to the north of Western Australia, Bishop Hal Witt, who has since also gone to glory, said, "You will learn to spill blood in this parish." And he was right. The 4 years that we spent in Newman were very difficult in many ways. I wouldn't put it like that with the 20 years we've spent here. I count it an absolute privilege to be entrusted by God with the gospel. And I'd recently read a book called Changing Course, which is not a Christian book, but there's an illustration in it of a Christian minister who struggled to come to terms with his retirement. And he depicted the 6 months before his retirement as being a roller coaster ride. And that has been my experience, as we have had to come to terms with the fact that God was saying, as Jeff Hewer very graciously put it, the time had come to lay the baton down, to lay the burden down rather, and to pass on the baton to somebody else. And when you came in tonight, you would have seen out the front the words that Tony quoted, which is also a verse that has been a very key verse for me, from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for wholeness and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. And those words are from the English Standard Version. But these words don't just apply to us, because we believe that God does have a future for us and a hope, and that He knows the plans that He has for us. But we also believe that God has a plan and purpose for this parish. And that excites me, to think that God is calling someone else to pick up that baton and to continue the work of ministry here in this place. Because Jesus is the key. He is the one to whom we look. And He is the one who will guide the nominators as they seek out the man of God's choosing. And we will certainly be very much in prayer ourselves as you go through that whole process. But we want to thank all the folk from St John's who are here tonight, and also those who are not able to be here. And as we have reflected, those who have passed on to glory in the 20 years, we want to thank you for taking us into your hearts and your lives, and allowing us what I count to be the absolute privilege of being a co-worker with Christ for the sake of the gospel. Thank you very much. And God
One small matter. Wallace, if you'd like our new address, there's a few copies out the back there. Please help yourself to one. And just to let you know a little bit about our house. On the front wall, there is a sign, and it says, "The Sandcastle." Now, God has a wonderful sense of humour, doesn't He? We've never owned a home before, and God is keeping us humble because He's given us a sandcastle. It's only a temporary dwelling because our permanent dwelling is with Him. And so we can't get too proud about owning our own home because it's only a sandcastle. And now I've got something that I would like to read to you. I'd like to thank everybody too for the wonderful things you said, the wonderful humour that's come out. That's us. We love to laugh. And
being so serious.
even when and I'd just like to say that I'm glad that there are other poets in the place. This is, Don said that I thank people for the gifts. Thank you so much for the gifts and for the flowers. Anyone who knows me knows I love flowers. And I'm just wondering if I can unpack one of my big vases. Where do we pack them? I'll find something, don't worry, to put them into. Thank you. So this is the Wilson's Farewell. And by the way, there are a couple of copies at the back here. If anyone desperately wants one, see John at the end. I'll give them to him. What can we say about St John's as we bid you all farewell? You've shared so many things with us. Some things we cannot tell. But joys and sorrows, hopes and dreams, the good times and the bad, are precious to our memories, and leaving makes us sad. We've watched some grow from tiny tots to adults or to teens. Where have 20 long years gone? The years have flown, it seems. Our own 3 children came here when their ages were 3, 7 and 10. Now adults all, they've gone their ways. They've grown up great. We give God praise. You've shared in how they have progressed. We're sure you never could have guessed. From GFS, SEBS and Sunday school, through youth groups, up to adult school. Thank you all for what you've done. You helped to make their childhood fun. You've helped us too. We've learnt a lot of what to do and what to not. We've been corrected, loved and cared for. Our family here, who could not ask more. Some precious friends have left us. God took them home, you see. We miss their lovely faces, but know they're where we'll be. So many of you have matured in your knowledge of the Lord. You teach and lead the children. On them God's love is poured. Others help with aged and frail, with visits, trips or meals. God's blessings are poured out on you. Bodies and minds He's healed. When Don took sick 2 years ago, you gathered closely round. Your prayers and love have helped us through. Without you, we would drown. Yes, God is good, and we can go knowing that you are strong. You will press on. The church will grow. To Jesus you belong. He let us lead you for a while. We're glad He brought us here. And we are pilgrims on this earth, yet leave with many a tear. You'll always be dear to our hearts as we move to our next setting. A sandcastle He's given us, another temporary dwelling. Then one day we'll all be together. God's promises no story. No more tears or saying goodbye when Jesus comes in glory. So it is not goodbye we say, but only God be with you, and may He bless and keep you all. We're really going to miss you.